Okay, so let's continue with our Kafka Python tutorial series. So in the last video, we have see the on delivery callback function, right? So now in this video, we will see further because till now we are creating the producer, but till now only we have set only one parameter. Let me show you. So if you open my producer class, so let's suppose this is the Avro producer class, right? But this Avro producer class is using by this base class producer class. And if I go to this producer base class, the only configuration parameter currently I am passing is the bootstrap.servers, which means my Kafka cluster URL, right? But I am not passing any other configuration parameters. So generally in the production environment, we have to pass. So it is mandatory in the production environment. Otherwise, it is not as per the production standard. We have to pass a couple of more configuration parameters. But what are those configuration parameters and why we need to pass? What are it used, right? So there is a one link. So this is the official documentation link. So Kafka producer configuration preference, right? So on this page, you could see there are so many parameters. Bootstrap.server, right? So bootstrap.server we already used, right? And there is a type compression.type, right? So there are so many parameters. So in this video, we are going to see two parameters. One is compression.type and one is the message.max.bytes. So these two parameters. And what are the benefits of these two parameters? Before jump into before explaining these two terms, let's try to run our cluster. So let me make sure my cluster will be up. Pause up. And so once the cluster will be up, what I will do is I will just run my Avro producer code. And this is my Avro producer code, which is going to just produce the message into the Avro format. So here I am going to show you one thing. So let me make sure my cluster is up. So it is just pulling the images and my Docker is up. So it created the image. It will take a couple of more minutes. Yeah, hopefully it is up now. Let me access that localhost 8080. So my Red Panda is up and running. So currently there are no topic, there are no schema registry. So let me try the code which is in my current condition. So Python avroproducer.py. So which is going to create a topic and it is going to register my schema. So you could see, so which we already covered. It is created a topic and it is registered my schema. So we have to pass these parameters: first name, middle name, last name, and age. Right. So let's pass that. So let me pass my first name Sumanshu and middle name none, and Ghana and age. So you could see message has been sent and it is successfully delivered as well. So successfully delivered message. Why we are getting this? Because we use the on delivery function, right? On delivery. So okay, and if we see our message has been successfully published. All right. And here we could see our message has been the size is 24 bytes. Right. But what is the default maximum size we can publish the messages here? What is the default maximum size? So if you go to this documentation, so the default maximum size is 1 MB. So this is in the form of a bytes. This is in the form of a bytes. So if you convert these bytes and it will be 1 MB. So this is the default. So the default parameter is 1 MB. So this is the maximum message which we can send. So let's try to increase our message size. So whenever person enter some input, what I will do is I am going to increase some size. All right. So I am going to increase some size and I am going to increase some size. All right. So that's it. Now let's try to send the message. Python avro producer.py. Enter the first name. So large first name, middle name, large last name, age, anything. Now you could see my message did not publish and I am getting some error, Kafka error, and the message code is message size too large. So this is very common error which we get in our day-to-day life. And if I go to here in my Kafka cluster, you could see there is only one message which I published earlier. All right. But now the second message is failed to publish, right? Why it is failed to publish? Because my message size is very huge. And if you want to check what is my message size, so let's check that as well. So whenever we are publishing the message, so when we are go to the send message, and it is like printing the error, and along with that, let's print the length of the length of the actual message. Right, so length of the actual message, and it should be divided by 1024 multiplied by 1024 to get in the form of a MB. So let's see. Let's try to run that. Python avro producer.py. Again, let's pass the same things. Enter large last name something. You could see my message size is approximately 3.8 MB, right? But I said like the default message size is 1 MB. So it means I am not able to send this message. So what can I do? So there is a one property called message.max.bytes, which we can change. So let's change this property. So we have to change in my producer class, because this is the property for my producer configuration. So just copy this, and where we are setting my bootstrap server. So the bootstrap server is being set in my producer class, right? So here, along with the bootstrap server, I can set my message.max.bytes. So what we can do is we can create a configuration parameter. One second, we can create a configuration parameter, and let's remove this from here and pass this as a this, and we can pass the configuration parameter, and this could be maybe dynamically accepted message size, and by default none, and we can say if message size, then we have to update this configuration. So it means we need to pass one more parameter. And what is the extra parameter? This parameter we need to pass. And what is this value? Message size. So basically this is going to be added when we are passing the message size. Otherwise, by default, it is going to take 1 MB. So now whenever we are calling, so in the Avro producer class, what we have to do is whenever we are initiating the super class, right? So bootstrap server topic, initiating my super class, it is containing bootstrap server. So we need to pass the message size as well here. So I need to pass the message size as well, right? And when I am calling this ever producer class, so I need to pass the so me I need to pass the message size. And what is the maximum message size, like because it is 3 MB, right? So we let's give 4 MB, 1024 star 1024. So we pass the message size, so it will go here. Now we need to accept the parameter message size, and now the message size will come here, and there is no need to pass this thing. We can just pass this parameter as it is, and yeah, hopefully now it will work. So let's try that. Python avro producer.py, and large first name enter, large last name enter age 23. Right. So it says failed to deliver the message. Okay. Why it is failed to deliver the message? And why I'm printing this very big message. So let me check from where it is getting printed. Message.key, message.topic, message.partition, where I'm printing the message. Okay, here is message, and let me comment this. And let me send again. So Python Avro producer.py, last first name, last middle name, or let's don't enter the middle name, or large last name, and enter some age. Okay, so now it says fail to deliver the message. So why it is so, and where we are getting this thing? Fail to deliver the message. So basically, our producer function this time did not give the error, because last time we get the exception here. Last time we get the exception here, right? But this time our producer did not give the error, but own delivery function give the error. So let's try to print why, like what error it is giving. So print error, Python avro producer.py, large first name, large last name, two. So you could see it is giving me the error, Kafka error, message size too large. It is still too large. So it means like uh, so the error is this. Then why it is not accepting here? Okay, so basically our delivery function only giving, because this is not in the try except block. This is not in the try except block. So that's why, like earlier we thought our produce function is like running fine, but the produce function did not run fine. Our delivery function only, like, because when it's trying to deliver, we get some error. And what was the error? Message size too large. But we already, but there is some issue, I think, because earlier when we have not passed this thing, when we have not passed this thing, when we are not passing, let did not pass this thing. Let me did not pass this thing, and by default, let me remove this. Let me remove this. Let me run this again. Large first name, large last name. Yeah. So now I am getting the error here only. But when I increase the size, when I increase the size, so I am getting at some other place. So when I, so maybe it is because of some buffer error. Because now, because we already have the try except block, because earlier we think we don't have the try except block, but we already have the try except block, and we are getting the error here. So this is the error which we get along with the size, along with the size. But when we increase the size, producer function did not give me the error, but the delivery function means, okay, producer said I produce the error. I like earlier, currently producer function is giving the error, right? So producer function said that my configuration allowed only till 1 MB. You are sending the message, a very large message, approximately 3.8 or 3.94 MB, close to 4 MB. So that is not allowed. That is not allowed, right? So that is not allowed uh, as per the current configuration. So what we did is we pass the extra parameter, message size is equal to 4 into 1024 into 1024. So close to 4 MB because our current, or maybe let's pass the 5 MB. All right. And then message size, and then take this message size here. Yeah, everything looks okay. And now when we pass the message size, large, first name, large, last name 23. Okay. So now producer function did not give me the error, but the delivery report is giving me the error. So it means it is still failed to deliver. It is still failed to deliver. And if we see, there is still only one message, but why it is happening? That is the reason. Even though we have increased the size, but it is still saying message size too large. Let me check. Just give me a minute. Okay, so the reason is basically, even though if you noticed, so let me rewind. So if you noticed, when we are not setting any message size, right? So in our initial code, when we are not setting any message size, so the default limit of the producer, so the default limit of producer, which is going to send the message. So producer is our application which is going to send the message. So the default limit is producer said, I can only handle 1 MB of message, right? So so producer said I can only 1 MB of message size. If you give me more than 1 MB, if you give me more than 1 MB, then I am going to fail in this exception. Then I am going to fail in this exception. So that's why if you notice, when I am not passing this parameter, when I did not pass, where is that? Yeah, when I did not pass this parameter, it failed. It failed in this exception. It failed at this block. And the error is same, that is the produce, that producer wrote produce, and it is not able to produce that message because it is maximum limit is 1 MB and you are passing more than 1 MB, 2 MB, 3 MB, 4 MB. Then what we did is we set the message size to 1024 to 1024 to 4 MB, right, by setting this parameter message.max.bytes, right? So we set that. So it means we increase the producer capacity. So we told to the producer, okay, so you said you can handle only 1 MB. Now we are giving you the power to handle till 4 MB. Right. So we already give the power to handle till 4 MB, right? So but still, if you run your code, so Python abro producer.py, first name large, first name large, middle name large, last name. Message size is 3.8, so which is less than 4 MB. Now producer fail with this error, right? Producer fail with this error, broker message size too large. So basically producer did not fail here. Producer fail in the delivery report. Producer fail in the delivery report. If you see fail to deliver the message, fail to deliver the message. So basically, so there are two things. If I noticed, I have shown you in one of the diagrams. So not sure whether I have the diagram or not. So the diagram is basically, let me type here. Oh, let me write here. So our application, how it will run. So producer will send the message to buffer area, and from buffer area, it will send the message to the Kafka, and it is going to store in the topic, right? So earlier producer side is 1 MB, right? So producer itself failed at this stage. So now we increase to 4 MB. Now producer passed this stage, but while storing, that's why producer passed this stage. That's why producer is not giving me the exception here. Producer is giving me the own delivery. Own delivery means when I am delivering from the buffer. Own delivery when I'm trying to store on the Kafka topic, not on producing. Producing is different thing. So produce means just produce to the buffer. Just produce to the buffer. So produce means just produce to the buffer. All right. And actual publish means publish to the Kafka topic. So when we set the 1 MB, it failed in the produce function itself. But when we send to 4 MB, because our message size is 3 MB, but when we set to 4 MB, then produce function is did not giving me the error. So it missed some configuration settings on the topic level. So because it is giving me their own delivery. So that is the advantage of the delivery report function as well. So if you go to the Red Panda cluster, if you go to the Red Panda cluster, because it says I am trying, producer said I am trying to publish the message. I produce successfully, I produce to the buffer successfully, but and try to I make a connection with the Kafka cluster as well. But when we try to store on the topic, I am failed to do that. Why am so if you click on the test topic, so it is storing on this test topic. And under the test topic, you could see there is a configuration. And under the configuration, there is a type max.message.bytes. So topic said maximum I can accept 1 MB of value, but we are sending 4 MB. We increase the size of a producer application, but we have not increased the size of the topic application. So what you have to do is you just click here and increase to 4 MB. All right, so now I increase to the 4 MB. So there is no change in the code. There is no change in the code. We are going to just run the same thing again. So large first name, large middle name, large last name, and save enter. Now you could see it is successfully delivered. Earlier it says fail to deliver. So this message is coming from the basically from our like own delivery function. So let me again show you successfully delivered. Earlier this is coming, now this is coming. So now it is successfully delivered. So if you come here and go to the messages, so you could see, let me check my offset. So offset is 6, where currently it is published. So left to click on the offset 6. And if I expand it, I'm able to expand because I think it's a large message. Okay, let me refresh it. There were issue deserializing the value because the message size is too large. Sometimes content is not available sometimes because that is the Red Panda issue, but like our message has been published. So you could see message size, there could be deserialized. You could try to deserialize and it is very huge. Sometimes it said, okay, I able to deserialize and but I'm unable to show you the content, but sometimes it's even unable to deserialize it. That is totally fine, but we have like successfully able to publish the message. All right. And one more thing, and if you see here the compression type, if you see here the compression type, so the message says currently we are not compressing the message. So generally what we did is we generally not change the settings on the topics level. So let's go back to make it 1 MB. Let's go back to make it 1 MB. So now we make it 1 MB. Now if you run this Python Avro producer, it is still going to fail. Large first name, large middle name, large last name, 34. You could say it's still going to fail because producer producer size is okay, but topic size is 1 MB. So what we can do is, so generally on the topic side, on the topic side, we never change these settings because this, and also this setting is not in your hand in the actual project, because the producer application, you are the developer, you are writing the code, so you can change the configuration setting. But this cluster, this cloud cluster, this Confluent cloud cluster or any cloud cluster, Apache Kafka cloud cluster will be set by your cloud engineers. All right. So if you have to change the setting, you have to place a request with the cloud engineer. So you are not spinning up the cloud infrastructure, and they generally straightforward deny your request. So what is the alternative approach? So the alternative approach is the compression. So it says when I am going to store the message, when I'm going to store the message, let me send the message in the compressed format, and let me store the message on the topic in the compressed format. And if we store the message in the compressed format, by this way it is going to take my less side, because if you currently noticed here, all the messages are uncompressed, all the messages are uncompressed, right? So we are not performing any compression technique. So what is compression? Compression is an algorithm like which we are going to use at compression also at two level. So compression is also at two level. One compression is at, let's compress on the producer side itself. All right, so let's compress on the producer side itself. One compression is that while I am trying to store on the topic level, right, at that time of compression. So basically, so producer, so as I already told you, producer publish the message, producer produce the message. First, it's sent to the buffer. From buffer, it go to the Kafka topic. So this is normal behavior. This is normal behavior. All right. So, but using this behavior, even though we are changing the producer setting, and if we are not changing the Kafka topic settings, then it's failed to deliver. It's successfully able to produce, but it failed to deliver. So our actual output is not coming, right? So other option is while sending the message or while storing the message, let's store in a compressed format. So you said if I have to, so there are two settings, right? So one setting is either you can compress the message while producing, or either you can compress while storing, or you can perform both, or you can perform both. All right. So now my flow will be producer will produce my original message, because Kafka cluster needs a message in the bytes form, so serialization needs to be done. So byte message. Now because we are in the actual production environment, we like it's our responsibility to consume less space on the topic level, so we have to compress the message, right? And along with that, like just now, like we face this issue, right? Because it's failed to deliver because the message size is huge, so we don't want to change the topic level setting, so better to compress the message. So the third option is we have to compress the message, right? So this is the actual flow in the production application: produce the original message, serialize it, compress it, and then store it. All right. So compression technique we can set at the two level. One is at the producer level, one is at the topic level. Right. And what are the compression technique like gzip compression? So by default, none. So on the producer level, by default, none is the compression technique. All right. And but there are some four valid type. One is the ggif, snappy, lz4, zstd. So these are the compression technique which are available. Okay, so by default, none is available. But if you have to set it, how you can do that? So there is a parameter called compression.type. You can set that. So there is a parameter called compression.type. So similarly, we we set here, we can take another compression method, and by default none, right? And we can say if compression method, then we are going to set one more property. And what is the property name? Compression.type, and it should be compression method, or you can say compression type. Compression type, right? So we are going to set this. So let's pass this from our message site. Compression type, compression type, and So let's pass here. Compression type is equal to, let's use the snappy, because there are four valid, which I told you, four valid. So we are using snappy. So now let's see, because we are sending the message in the compressed format, what is going to be happen. So let's see. So Python avro producer.py, same thing we are going to do. Large first name, large middle name, large last name, and age. Now you could see message size is still same. That is the original message size, but now it is successfully delivered. Now it is successfully delivered. Even though topic settings we have not changed. Even though if you see, topic setting is still 1 MB. Topic setting is still 1 MB. Now it is successfully like able to deliver the message. And if you expand it, and if you see, the compression type is snappy. The compression type is snappy. For the earlier messages, mm, for the compression type is uncompressed. And so this is the deserialization log. So let me hide it. For the earlier message, compression type is uncompressed, but now compression type is snappy. But the question is, let me show you again. The question is, we send the compression technique at the producer level. We have not set the compression technique at the topic level. But earlier we were facing the issue which we were facing. This is because of the topic level, because topic is unable to store 4 MB data, right? But we did not set the compress. Ideally, we have to set the compression level at the topic level, but we have not set the compression at the topic level. Then how it's going to work? How it's going to work? The reason is because by default, if you click on the topic, by default, configuration setting of compression type is producer. Like by default, message bytes is 1 MB, but compression type is producer. What is producer? Because we said the compression type is snappy. What is producer? Producer means, because by default producer compression technique is none. By default, topic compression technique is producer. Producer means topic said, I don't know which compression technique I need to follow. I will going to follow whatever producer is going to give me. So producer is going to give that snappy technique, and that snappy technique is going to follow on the topic level. So topic said, I don't know what is the compression technique I have to follow. I will going to follow the producer technique. So there is a one table which I have write. So there are two, we can set this compression type at two places. One is the producer level. Producer level is to compress the message by the producer, and by default it is none. And there are four values, which is fine. Topic level will be happen while storing the message on the broker or on the topic level, and by default is producer. Okay, but what does that mean? So if topic is producers, because earlier it's also producer, so why it is giving this error? Why it is giving this error? Because on the topic level it is producer, but on the producer level it is none. So topic said, I am going to use the one which is on the producer level. So on the producer level it is none. So it means on the topic level it is also at the end it's none. So at the end it is none. So topic receive 4 MB of message, but topic said I can only handle 1 MB. So that's why it's failed. All right. So now on the producer level, we compress it. So topic said, okay, producer is giving me the compressed message, and compressed message is of maybe less than 1 MB, because topic maximum can handle 1 MB. So it says, okay, I'm going to able to store that. So that's why it's successfully able to publish. So there is a one table. Let me go to the tables. So if topic level is producer, which is default, and producer level is none, so it means producer compression type, no compression will be applied. So that's why our code was failing here, because of no compression was applied. And this is not recommended for the production. But if the topic level is producer, like in our case, just we said the topic level is producer, And for the producer level, we set snappy out of 4. All right. So what is going to be happen? So what is going to be happen? So compression technique will be on the producer level. Producer will compress the compress the messages by using this technique, producer level tick. But on the topic level, which technique is going to be follow? Producer technique. Producer means whatever producer is going to give me. So same technique is going to be followed. So this is the all recommended approach for the production. But there are other approach as well. Example, producer use Snappy. Let's suppose producer use Snappy, and on the topic side, maybe we use LZ4. Maybe we use LZ4. Let's suppose we use LZ4, and on the producer side we use Snappy. So what is going to be happen? So what is going to be happen? Let me jump into the pie chart. So what is going to be happen? So producer is compressing using Snappy, right? So Snappy compress message go to the topic, but topic said I am not going to store in the Snappy format. I am going to store into the LZ4 format. So topic is again going to compress it in the LZ4 method, right? So basically like recompression is going to be happen. So this is also not recommended. This is also because unnecessary you are doing the compression twice, right? So this is also not recommended. So you could see on the producer level, producer compression technique will be applicable, and on the topic level, topic compression technique will be available. And this is also not recommended. And what are the other approach? So if both are same, let's suppose topic is also snappy and producer is also snappy. So producer will apply the same technique and topic will also going to apply the same technique. All right. So this is also not recommended. Why this is also not recommended? Because topic level, like let's suppose you change at topic level to LZ4, and on the producer level you are also using LZ4. So you said like why it is not recommended? Because I'm using the same. That why it is not recommended? Let's suppose in the future there is a business requirement to change the producer to change it to the Snappy. So now you have to change the Snappy at the both places. All right. So you have to change the, so which is wrong, because code is in your hand. The infrastructure is not your hand. So again, you have to place the request to the cloud engineer. So which is wrong. So that's why it is not recommended. So that's why it is not recommended. So if you see here, eventually it will override that. So it is not basically recommended. So these are the two configuration parameter which is widely used in the production environment: compression.type and message.max.bytes. So why should I cover message.max.bytes earlier? Because I want to show you what is the actual use of compression, right? Because if I just send the compressed message, you are not able to see the advantage of the compression. Now you actually see the actual, because when I am sending the message, I increase the message size at producer level, but I did not increase the size at the topic level in the uncompressed format. So producer will able to produce the message, but it is failed to deliver. But basically, it is failed to publish, because on the topic level it says I am maximum I can accept the 1 MB. So one approach is just change the setting of topic level, which is not recommended. So the other approach is store in the compressed format. So that's why the other approach is okay. Let's set pass the message into the compressed format. So these are the two techniques, and you can read here compression.type. But one more thing I have to tell you. So there are two techniques like compression.type. So you can read on your like official documentation of Confluent. But if you want to read about the message.max.bytes here, you are not able to find. And if you max.message.bytes, that is also not there, right? So if it is not there, how we are able to apply into the producer level? The reason is our Confluent Kafka library is the high level library, and the low level library is librd Kafka. And the librd Kafka has this parameter message.max.bytes. So that's why we are able to use that. That's why we are able to use that. All right. And here compression.type also given. So you can also read from here as well. So that's it. That's the end of the video. Thank you.